Hello my lovelies and welcome back to the heart of my home. My name's G, I'm a health coach and a nutritionist, and I'm passionate about using food and herbs and spices as medicine. Now today I'm super excited to be introducing a power-packed vegetable just for you. It's the season of cruciferous vegetables and there's no other powerful vegetable in the market than the wonderful cauliflower. So let's get down to the ingredients as I show you the magnificent health benefits of this wonderful veg. So the ingredients we're going to need for this one pot cauliflower recipe is the cauliflower. Not many of you may know this, but the cauliflower provides the full spectrum of vitamins and minerals essential to the body. Not only that, recently it's been included as part of the low carb diet, fantastic for keto diets, and has a low glycemic index. So it's a fantastic vegetable to really include into your repertoire of recipes any time of the year. So cauliflower. To this I'm going to also add some onions, tomatoes. We've got some kale here, again part of the cruciferous vegetables. I love fennel, great digestive aid, so I'm going to put some fresh fennel into this particular recipe. And instead of potatoes, I'm going to be adding another cruciferous vegetable, the lovely swede. So swede instead of potatoes. And it's rich in antioxidants and selenium. Also potassium, if I believe. So it's a great one to include in this recipe. The spices we're going to need are, I've got ginger here, I've got some dried curry leaves, I've got fresh turmeric, as you can see from my fingertips, but I've also got some dried turmeric. And these are the 5 spices. So that includes some fennel, so dried fennel, I've got some fenugreek seeds, I've got mustard seeds, and I've got nigella seeds. So we are going to be using that. If you don't have that, cumin is absolutely fine. So we can just add some cumin to it and some mustard seeds. So don't worry if you don't have the 5 spices. And the oil I'm going to be using for this particular recipe is the rice bran oil, and I will be adding some ghee, homemade ghee. So if you haven't made that yet, get on to the homemade recipe for ghee, and we'll be adding some ghee into this recipe. Fabulous. Let's pull these ingredients together. So let's begin by adding some oil to the pan and allow that to heat up. Now the reason why I like using rice bran oil is because of its high smoke point. So it's usually the rice bran oil or the ghee or coconut oil if you prefer. So any of the oils which has a high smoke point are really good to cook with, and if you're wondering what they are, you can have a look at my blog, Good Fats and Bad Fats, and you will find all the information you need on there. Now, whilst the oil is heating up, I'm just going to pull all the bits of the cauli apart. Now, I even use the green stem, so I don't waste any part of this cauliflower. I'm just going to pull the stems and these wonderful cauliflower apart. It's lovely how it literally just comes apart naturally. Great, the oil is ready and I'm going to start by adding my 5 spices with some cumin seeds. So a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Just allow the spices to blend through. I'm also going to add some of my curry leaves. Now that's optional. I quite like the tang of the curry leaves coming through the recipe. But you may not like it, so that's fine. You can opt out if you wish to. As the scent of the spices begins to come through, that's the point at which we will add our onions and allow that to sizzle away. Give it a little bit of a stir. Oh, the magic of combining ingredients. For me, it's just like being in a magical laboratory. So these florets, the cauliflower florets will just come apart. I'm just going to continue with preparing my ingredients whilst the spices and the onions are cooking away. So I even use the stem, and all I'm going to do is chop this up into squares so nothing gets wasted. You know, the nutritious value of this amazing vegetable is incredible. I mean, what more can we cook aside from cheese and mac? Cauliflower, cheese and mac, or roasted cauliflower florets. This recipe is going to spice it up a bit, give you some more of the therapeutic benefits of this power vegetable. Right, that's ready, and the onions are ready. To that, I'm going to throw in ginger. You can add as much ginger as you like. And I'm going to add the fresh turmeric. Now, if you don't have fresh turmeric, don't worry. You can just use the powdered turmeric, organic, of course. And you would have noticed that in most of my dishes, I'm always adding turmeric. And that's a staple. It's a basic ingredient that I will add to most of my dishes. And we all know what the therapeutic benefits of this marvellous spice is. Right, these are coming together very nicely. We don't want to burn the ingredients. Hence, I always opt for the low or medium heat. And you can see those colours, wow, really pulling together wonderfully. Now, let's add some of the turmeric. So about a teaspoon of the turmeric. Mix that together. As that's cooking, I'm just going to chop up the head of the fresh fennel. I'm going to use about half of it, and I'm going to throw that into the pan. I tend to throw in ingredients as I move along with the recipe. So, I'm always improvising or adapting, but I know my flavours. Sometimes the palate or my emotional brain, my belly, will tell me what I fancy. So I'll just bring these ingredients together. So this is lovely. Look at the colours of those ingredients, which have really come together nicely. I'm just going to pop over and wash my cauliflower, and we're going to throw this into the mix. So the base ingredients are now ready, and what we're going to do is literally pop the ingredients, that's the cauliflower and the food, just turn it gently. And cauliflower has gained popularity, I think, over the past few years, simply because of its low carb content, its versatility. You know, it's been used as pizza bases now to make hummus, as a replacement for a lot of the carbs and rice dishes. So cauliflower rice is amazing. If you haven't tried it, it's worth a go. Cauliflower pancakes, I'll be sharing that recipe with you, closer to pancake day, of course. Wonderful. Look at those colours. Be careful not to get too much turmeric onto your hands. Thanks for that. I'm going to throw in, cut my tomatoes in half and just throw those in. Might go for a couple actually. Just add a bit of colour. Turn the gas down and the kale will go in last. So we're going to pop the lid on and let that simmer for about 5 minutes. So we're 5 minutes in and we're going to add some ghee, homemade ghee. So switch over to that video if you haven't watched it already and make your own golden, delicious ghee. We're going to add about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half, generous, to the cauliflower. And this has remarkably healing properties, and if you've watched my sprout recipe, you'll notice there that the ghee is necessary for cruciferous vegetables in particular to tease out the vitamins that it's highly, richly loaded with. Now, if you're worried about the vegetables being scorched, you could add some vegetable stock to this recipe and allow it to cook through. Generally, I like my cauliflower medium, so I don't like it too soft, but each to their own, right? So use the vegetable stock. If you don't want to cook on the stove, you can easily put all of these ingredients together in an oven-proof dish and put it into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes for lovely, crispy, crunchy cauliflower florets. So I'm going to leave that to cook for a further 3 to 4 minutes, and that should be ready to enjoy. So let's see how our one pot recipe is coming along. Oh, wonderful. So we're about 10 minutes in to cooking the florets, and these are doing wonderfully. I am now ready to add kale to the mixture. And this is just going to give it that extra bitterness to balance the sweetness of the swede and the cauliflower. So you've got that real sweet, nutty, but balanced with the bitterness of the green kale. Really, really balancing for the digestive system, so your emotional brain, as well as the heart center. Now, I like adding the greens to this recipe, but why not comment below and let me know the vegetables that you like to include with your cauliflower recipe. Experiment, see how it goes. I'm going to let that cook for another probably 2 or 3 minutes until it's slightly medium cooked, as I explained before. So it's not too soft, and then switch it off. See you in a few minutes. Okay, let's just do a fork test and check in on the cauliflower. Wonderful. Yep, the vegetables are ready. So this is a great base. I mean, you could add carrots to this, any vegetables you actually like, or you could serve it up with some fish. So this is ready. I'm going to turn that off, plate it out, and garnish it with some of our favourite spices. Oh, look at that, really well caramelised. Kale, the swede, and that cauliflower. And the ghee has given it this wonderful glow. Right, to garnish, I am going to add some black salt. I spoke about this before in a previous recipe, but it's really rich in sulfur and highly therapeutic. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of black salt onto this recipe and a little bit of homemade masala. So I've not given this recipe out yet, but I'm sure I will at a later date. Wonderful, but please enjoy with whatever garnish satisfies your palate. That's it, our 15-minute hot pot, one pot powerhouse cauliflower recipe. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the video, please subscribe so that you're notified of new videos every time I launch them, normally once a week. Please leave your comments below and let me know how much you've enjoyed this recipe or what other vegetables you've included. Thank you for joining me in the heart of my home. I've thoroughly enjoyed your company, and until we meet again, wishing you vibrant health as Mother Nature intended. Bye bye.